Hi, I'm Jeff Donnell. I'm the senior pastor here at McCook E-Free.
And I'm Candy Crosby. I'm a member of the search committee that's looking for the Discipleship and Connections pastor position.
Odds are, if you're watching this video, you are considering applying for our position. I want to start by just thanking you for doing that. I want you to thank you for your time. I know that's very valuable. And, discerning God's call for your next place of ministry is a big deal. And so I appreciate you taking the time to explore this option. And we hope this video will be helpful to you as you discern where God is leading you.
We're really excited about who God will call for this position. This is an existing position that we have, but we've taken it and redesigned it and updated it and made it more strategic. It's actually a linchpin position that we're using to fulfill our mission to cultivate followers of Jesus to impact our world.
So you'll want to watch all the way to the end of the video. We'll keep it short, I promise. But that way you'll have some very special instructions on how we want you to apply for this position. All right? But let's start before we talk about the position. Candy, how many years have you lived in McCook?
We've lived here for 35 years.
Wow, that's a bit. And about time and then your different positions, you and your husband in the community, you're like experts for McCook. So tell us about McCook.
Well, maybe not experts, but we love McCook, and we do know quite a bit about it. McCook is nearly 8,000 people. It's a couple of hours from the beautiful mountains of Colorado. We are like right square in the middle between Omaha and Denver. We're situated just a little ways from Kansas and about an hour from the Colorado border. McCook is a charming little town. We have brick Main Street, robust downtown with some independently owned shops, boutiques, kitchen store, a variety of independently owned restaurants. We're situated in a river valley. We're actually surrounded by some rolling hills. There is farming, some corn and wheat around. We do have 3 lakes that are close by, one 10 miles, one 20 miles, and one 30 miles away. So obviously the hunting and fishing is good around here, and we do attract that kind of population. We have award-winning schools. We have the oldest 2-year college in Nebraska. If you're into fitness, we have a wonderful YMCA. We also have a cycling club. We have a running series, and we have beautiful walking trails. Our critical access hospital, which I'm very proud of because I work there, is a 25-bed hospital. We actually are known in the area more as a regional center. We have a new patient wing, a new surgery wing. We're building a new cardiopulmonary center. Our medical specialist center will be finished up earlier this year in 2021. And it will house the 40 visiting specialists that we get here on a rotating basis through the month. We're really proud that we have one of the only linear accelerators in the nation for a critical access hospital, and that provides radiation oncology for people who need cancer treatment. Our area was settled by Russian Germans, and so we have kind of a can-do, get-her-done attitude around here. We're fairly independent. If someone gets an idea, it generally gets done, it gets completed. There's a really strong arts and cultural interest here. We have a community theater. We have concerts, indoor and outdoor concerts. There's the Buffalo Commons Storytelling Convention. We have a really supportive McCook Community Foundation, Economic Development Corporation, and they're also, in addition to the farming and hospital, some of the bigger businesses here, and the school system and the railroad, we also have some factories. And then our churches are strong as well.
Yeah, so we love our community. I'm not a native, you're not a native, but we love being here. And so somebody who's not from here, why should they want to live here? In addition to all those things you just said, why should we want to live here?
I would have to say that McCook is a place that once you come here, like let's say that you grew up here and you went off to college and thought, I'm never coming back, but you do happen to get a job here. Then you decide after you're here, this is a place where I would really like to raise my family. And I also see that McCook is a place where we get retirees. I've run into multiple people who have retired here from Colorado. It's an inexpensive place to live, and once they get acquainted with McCook, they find it very charming, and they love living here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not just the community, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about the church.
Yeah, so our church, we're McCook Evangelical Free Church. We call ourselves McCook E-Free for short. We were founded 41 years ago. We started as just a handful of people in a living room and went to storefronts, and then we acquired this property and built the building here. And it's just been what I would call a steady, faithful congregation for 41 years. It's just really a wonderful thing. As I said, we're part of the EFCA denomination, which I think gives us a great support system around us. At present, we have our primary campus here, and we have 2 new campuses we've started in the last few months, and communities 30 miles from here. So we're reaching out to our community, and those came not from us wanting to go there, but from the communities coming to us. And so we're really excited about those opportunities. We're a church that is very, very focused on making disciples. And so we ask ourselves, how do we make disciples? Whether it's bringing folks to faith or maturing folks after they've come to know Christ. And so we're thinking about our communities and how do we bless our communities as we develop disciples in such a way that impacts our communities and makes the kingdom more known in this neck of the woods. And so that we are kind of church we are. We're a multi-generational church. We have any number of families where there's 3 or 4 generations present in our church. At the same time, we have new folks all the time, people that don't have otherwise connections that came to know our church in some way. And so that's always really exciting to have sort of that mixture of all of those different kind of folks in our church. We are also part of the Relational Discipleship Network as a group of pastors that we come together to help one another as both just in life and ministry, but to grow in how we make disciples. And that's something we've been very committed to. We were founding members of the network, but really close. And we've done a lot of things with those, with that group, and just a great group. So yeah, our church is really, I think, a very active part of our community. And we're really determined and have a lot of fun in doing what we do and making disciples. What are your favorite things? I'm the pastor, I'm biased, right? What are your favorite things?
Well, I had some of those same things on my list. We've lived, as long as we've lived in McCook, which is almost our entire adult life, we've attended this church. And actually, we started 35 years ago, so it was only 6 years old when we started coming in. So we've seen it start from under 100 people and grown up to the size that it is today. And this church has always been like family to us. Our family lives a bit of a ways away, and so we've become very close to everyone. And we've gone through a lot of things together, and they've always been very supportive. And I have to say personally, our dedication to discipleship is one of the main reasons why we've continued staying here and wouldn't go any other place. There have always been through the years opportunities for my husband and I and our family to get involved, whether it's teaching, Bible studies. My husband's been on the board. I've helped with ladies' retreats and speaking and women's workshops, all sorts of things like that. And then we've also been involved in life teams. So if you want to serve, there's a place to serve. And we're always looking for people that are eager to do that, and that's what I've loved about this church. The church doesn't remain at a standstill. We're very creative. We're developing, growing, willing to try new things. The other thing that I love about the church, and it's really been this way for most of the time that we've been here, but it's even better now, is that we're a missions-minded church. And we redeveloped our program a few years ago, and now we have 3 missions teams. One to focus on the local, one the United States, and then one internationally. And I'm a part of the international team, and I really love the support and help that we give to our missionaries. Also, we've offered perspective class in the past, and most or many of our members have attended and taken that, and that's probably one of the best classes that I've ever had. We have a strong Awana program, and we're a very giving church. If there's a need, then people usually give above and beyond what the need is. So, Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Discipleship and Connections pastor position and some of the responsibilities that this person will have?
Yeah, so as Candy said, this was an existing position that then we focused in, and we focused in on 3 areas, and that's our disciple making, connections, and pastoral care. And we really feel like these three areas work together in a really unique way. And so that's why we really want this position focused in right there. And so in terms of disciple making, we want you to oversee the entire disciple making strategy for all three of our campuses and any other campuses we may add in the future of how are we bringing folks to faith and then growing them as disciples of Jesus. The connection side is sort of the people movement side, whereas the discipleship side is the spiritual movement. This is where people are at, whether it's they're new and we help get them plugged in, a membership class, the first impressions, hosting, all those sort of things. But it's also like, somebody's been here for a while. Are they serving? How can we help them take that next step? How can we help someone take a next step to get involved in a small group or a leadership position or something like that? So they kind of work in parallel together. And then the pastoral care goes along with it, because obviously there's pastoral care all the time, right? And so we view this person not as the primary pastoral care person, but as the kind of what I'm calling the air traffic controller, that we have a great team between our staff and pastors and a care team, prayer team, and elders who are all willing to help with the pastoral care side, but we need someone to help keep us organized and have a strategy and sort of help things keep running smoothly and fill in the holes that we may have. So that's really the primary three areas for this position. There's some secondary areas, but these are really the three big areas that we want this position to focus on. And so it takes a certain kind of person to do that. What kind of person are we looking for this kind of position?
We're looking for someone who's energized by people, that people give them more energy, that they're driven by their love of people. We're also looking for someone who, first and foremost, is a disciple maker themselves. And finally, we're looking for someone who can equip leaders and build teams.
Yeah. This, as we said, this is going to be a very important position. A lot of moving parts, and so we need the right kind of person in this position. So if you've been watching this video, that means you found your way to our webpage, because that's where we've posted this. And you'll see on this webpage there's an email address where we want you to send your resume and any other documents or things you may want us to have. Maybe you want us to have like a link to your website or a video of some kind. Maybe you want to introduce yourself to us by video. That would be awesome. Or a video of you teaching something, or maybe a cover letter, whatever it may be, whatever you want to present to us, that's the link you send it to. But we have something unique we want you to send to us as well. What else do we want to receive?
Well, we're looking for something specific and fun. We want to get to know you a little bit better, so we'd like you to include a picture of yourself doing something that you love. And it could be a hobby that you have, a special interest, an activity that you like doing. Just as long as it's fun, send it our way.
Yeah, and so we very much are a relational driven church. So this is one way we just want to kind of start our relationship with you, right? And so we brought some examples for you. What did you bring for you?
I brought something that I like to do that's fun for me, is a bike ride across states. And this was a time when we rode our bike at RAGBRAI across the state of Iowa. And I'm with a very special friend that I also know from church.
Yeah. What else? You got one more there?
I've got one more, and this was actually a church group that some of us that like to climb mountains. And so several of us did, and this was a time that we were able to reach the summit of 14er in Colorado.
Yeah, and the one I brought two as well. One is not quite the same trip, but we've done on these trips several times.
Yeah.
So this is me and some other folks from church going up a 14er as well. This is after we actually topped one, and we're going to the next one. So I love hiking. I know you do too. And then I love to travel. So this is a picture of me and my wife, Deborah, at the Colosseum in Rome a little over a year ago. So yeah, so just like these are pictures of the things we like to do, we want to just get to know you a little bit. So send us a picture of you doing whatever it is you enjoy. So I hope this video has been helpful. I thank you for your time and watching it. And like I say, send us an email with your information, and if you have any questions for us, let us know that as well. So we look forward to this process, look forward to how God is going to show up in this process. And so just thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.